Triple G, Monroe Jr. went toe-to-toe this weekend on HBO. People, and I like to first of all start off by introducing myself. They call me the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching, tuning in to Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down round by round, week in and week out. The super fights to title night. The fight of the weekend was Gennady Golovkin, and Monroe Jr. was really a skilled fighter. But it was just like when they put Chris Algieri in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. The skill set is there, but the fortitude is not. The density of the bodies are different. The quality, the solid nature of the man that has to get behind that armor and shoot fire at the guy who's across that ring that is furiously built and etched in stone. Manny Pacquiao, etched in stone. Triple G, etched in stone. George Foreman, etched in stone. These people are different. They're of a different descent. Triple G came into the ring, and the approach was balance, destroyer. A lot of people have him in the likes of the Ernie Shavers of the world, and that's a quality approach, and that's a quality comparison for the middleweight division. Because when it comes down to power, you know, you're looking at guys that were fighting coming up. You're thinking about serious fighters with serious power. You're looking at Hearns, who came up from 147 into the likes of the 160 division. Do you put Gennady Golovkin in the same category as a Hitman Hearns? Well, what we do know, one thing is for sure. The fact of the matter is that he's climbing the ladder at a precise time. The timing is all happening in a perfect, just a menage of perfection. You have Andre Ward coming back from the layoff because of the legal issues. Hold on one second. And then he's fully recovered from the shoulder surgery post the Chad Dawson fight. What you can see right now is that something great is happening. One more thing that we can act in the sport of boxing, and I'm going to break this thing down in segments to give you an insight on why Triple G is becoming such a maniacal monster. The fact that he utilizes balance and can cut off the ring. And people from outside the fight world, you hear them say that, they have no clue of what that truly means. You're used to seeing it in black and white. If it's obvious to the eye, you can call it. But when it's subtleties, it's the subtleties that Triple G has and shows and portrays inside of that ring that makes him unique. It's not the simple fact that he knows how to use his physicality. It's the fact that during that brutality and the carnage that's happening in that ring, he's mentally wearing and drawing the fight out ahead of the time. Simple, exactly the way that Floyd does it. The difference is Floyd is not settling on power. Triple G is a product of his environment. And the reason why I call him that is he's being built, you know, exponentially. People are on the record saying, oh, he's a monster. Well, what's so funny is a year and a half ago, he was very fortunate. But he's actually grown slowly into that role of beast. True beast being in the ring, because in the real gyms, and a lot of people don't get this experience, when we build fighters, we build them from the ground. We don't train fighters from the body. We train fighters from the soul. And inside the ring and inside that gym, we don't believe in ghosts. There are no super friends or supermen inside that square circle. You can match them up and create that storyline, and the press will eat it up and create a giant like they did with Mike Tyson. As much as I love Mike Tyson, and I loved Mike Tyson, if you put him in there against an Evander Holyfield, even when he was at his peak, he would have had problems because the Evander Holyfield's craft Would Evander have won? No, but people would have seen that Mike Tyson was human. And then that hype would have minimized out, which it wouldn't have been good for sports, and it wouldn't have been good for media and news, and it wouldn't have been good for sports talk. So the fact of the matter is they matched him up right. He ate everybody that was necessary for him to eat at the time period that those guys were kind of fading in on the way out, but they still had big names. This is the way the game is drawn out. Triple G, my friend, is actually being built into that monster that we all say does not exist in that ring. Why is that? Because he's being ducked so profusely, so many fighters that have the names are not lining up or not willing to drop down or come up to the weight class that he fights at. So he has to stay busy. And boys, when you're fighting on a regular basis like he is, you can only get better at what you do. You're not going to change. He's going to be Triple G. So if you beat that guy, you have to beat him with what he has. He's a balanced puncher. His defensive is suspect, is decent. But to be a puncher like that, his offense is his defense, because you got to be able to take those shots straight to the chin and to the body, because he loves to go to the body. And the fact that his arm is naturally bowed, when he throws shots to the head and to the body, they're glancing off the temple and the top of the head and on the liver and at the feather rib, where Mike Tyson used to hit guys and break it. Most of his fights, guys left that ring and they had to go to the hospital, and they all have feather rib breaks. And that's what you do. You do your science first, physiology, anatomy, and then you learn the craft of boxing. Build yourself up, understand how to do it, execute it like Bruce Lee. Well, Gennady Golovkin, with the balanced attack that he displayed this weekend, he punished Monroe Jr. in a way that you gotta look at him for real, because that kid has skills. And you had to look at Pacquiao like, wow, you just blew through Chris Algieri and that kid has skills. Well, he's being decorated right now, but he hasn't even done his real work yet. He's being celebrated on HBO, but he hasn't even done what he's capable of doing. The minute you put him in there against somebody that you least expect for him to perform that way, you're going to see him bite down. This kid can fight. Triple G is the closest thing to a comic book character that you can find. I'm about ready to put him in Marvel Comics so he can play in the Avengers 3. I mean, real talk. In the gyms, the real gym, and gym wars, don't believe in ghosts. But Triple G is the closest thing to a ghost as you're going to get. Power like Ernie Shavers. Balance like Chavez. Mexican style like Salvador Sanchez, and these killers who had that they were ethnic to the bone, and just in that ring, savage animals. That's what Triple G is, and he only wants to display it inside that ring. So I have to tilt my hat to Team Golovkin. And HBO knows they have a white horse, and they want to make sure that he's being brought up the right way. But I'm telling you, David Itzkowitz and Rock Nation Sports, you know, you got to really look at Triple G, because they have Andre Ward, and that's why I'm mentioning their names. You got to look at him as a serious competitor and a serious threat now because of that consistent work. He's being built. He's a fighter. He's being built solid. He's coming through the rankings, and he's taking all names. They call me the fight doctor. And you got about a better chance of knowing what's next for Triple G as you do know about what's in this cup. But I do thank you guys for watching the channel. Continue to watch, because we break everything down round by round in segments. And you can go out to the website www.masterboxingllc.com and get yourself entertained. We got some boxing training workouts, where it's conditioning or skills. You go out there and get yourself polished up and look at the variety of just good entertainment videos from the fight world, which is our world. That's what we have in common. Like I said once again, don't just watch boxing, be boxing. We out.